Welcome back, everybody. This is another sewing one because we're finally gonna start actually sewing.
Yes. Moving along with her costume.
Yes, so we're gonna start with, I think, probably one of the simplest pieces between both of us to do.
Possibly.
Probably. So I don't know how well you guys can see this, but we're gonna be doing C,
which is like this, but slightly different.
This one is shorter in the front and C's is like all the same length.
Yeah, so basically if you've never seen a pattern like packaged before, so this just means that there's multiple different patterns included. So you have the pattern pieces to make this outfit along with these. So you just find the right folded bit. They're all nice and folded in, little like trace paper with the patterns printed on, along with instructions that we'll do a closer look at in a little bit.
Yes, because today we are making this guy. We may or may not actually sew it. We'll see how long it takes. So basically we'll be adapting this pattern because this pattern does not have slits. We've also determined that this has a slit in the back. I did not determine that before I drew it, but just imagine that I drew a slit right here.
And this pattern also has two separate pieces for the top and like the bottom down. But we're going to combine it so it's all one piece because hers doesn't have like a line thing.
No, it doesn't. The Margot one, it's all like, it almost looks like all one piece.
Basically just a long vest.
A long vest.
So we will take you through cutting out the pattern, finding your size, and when you need to adapt pieces. How to do that. Some
and this
tricks.
Is a pretty simple adaptation, just slits in the fabric.
Oh yeah, and on the back it also has like the pieces that you have. It'll show like, oh, so these are the backs of what's on the front. Sometimes they have both front and back. It just depends on the brand and the pattern pieces. And they also have sizes, so you need to know your measurements so you know what piece to cut out. And also pay attention when you're cutting or when you're buying a pattern because
of the sizes.
Sometimes they come in different sizes. This one, if you can see right here, I don't know if it's in focus or not. Probably not. But right here it says US XS for extra small and XL for extra large. That means this includes all the sizes.
From like her to me.
From extra small to extra large. But some will come in two different sets. Like I think the Mary Alice pattern.
They did.
We had to find, that was really hard. It was hard finding my size.
They didn't even put it in the right spot. So like we're like, I don't have it. And then we were just randomly looking. I'm like, I found it.
It was a miracle. So like some packages will contain like extra small to medium and then the next would be like large to extra. So you just pay attention to when you're buying, know your sizes. They'll have like measurements on them. And in addition to these measurements is it will tell you how much fabric you need for the pattern. So like we said before in a previous video, you measure using yards.
Yes.
So this will tell you that you need interfacing, aligning, and the measurements. Yeah, so we need to get
and they have
interfacing.
Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah, that's just because of the brand. But basically, so
well, maybe there's a YouTube video on how to use this one.
And something else to know. So it says there's different measurements. You'll see on the inner pattern pieces too. We'll show you a picture of that, or just show it in the video. So there's a 45-inch and 60-inch. What that means is how you lay it out or how much fabric you need depending on the width of the fabric. Because not only do you need to know how long you need it, but the different like, let me just grab our attic. So like you would measure how many yards you need like this way. 45 inches versus 60 is the inch of it going this way. So while it's folded in half, this one is, does it say?
Yeah, it should say. This
one is 45. So this is a 45-inch wide, so what we would do is we would follow the display for 45 inches. I'll show you on the pattern when we pull that out.
And I'll be dyeing this too, so you'll get a nice dyeing tutorial video because I have to do it gray. This was given to us, so thank you very kindly to Connie for giving this to us. It's 100% cotton. And if there's enough left over, Ashley may use this for her costume and dye it too. We'll see.
We will see.
Because it's actually kind of thick.
It's hard to see.
It's like white but thick. I don't know.
It's not suitable for children's sleepwear or robes in size 14 or under. Anyways, let's get to the pattern cutting.
Yay!
Okay, so here's the first page of the instructions that I was talking about. So it has the different things you're doing, the shapes of the pattern pieces and the pattern pieces that are included. Also has like a label of what they each are. Then it has like the different terminology and different things you'll need to know for it. And down here is what I was talking about with the different pictures and layouts. So this has, let's see. Yeah, so it'll show like what you need to have on what type of fabric. Then here is like, it'll show you, so this is how you would lay it out for piece A versus piece B, piece C. Are you doing, what did you say, C or D?
It's C.
C. So then we would be following this. Let's focus it a little bit better. So this is how we need to lay it out on the fabric. This is how you would lay it out. Oh, there's a bug in my face. This is how you would lay it out if it is a 44.
Yeah, 4A is the 45.
Yeah, I'm just confused by this because this looks like it would be the 60 because it's bigger. Yeah, so this, just follow your instructions. They tell you to lay it out like this so it fits better and you're guaranteed to use the most out of the fabric. If you want to rearrange, you can. You just have to be careful because you have to pay attention on the pattern pieces. If it says to cut along the fold, then you have to put it along the folds and cut it so it's not in half. We'll explain with actual fabric.
Yeah, because these instructions are pure hell trying to understand.
I've seen worse. But yeah, so it has like different areas of what you would cut the different pieces on. Different colors mean the front versus the back of the fabric. Then over here, it's for if you're cutting the lining, different cut. So yeah, basically just the instruction manual tells you how to cut. Then it starts, this isn't the pieces that we're making, but yeah, so it has you, basically spells it out for you how to make it. Alright, we'll cut to fabric cutting. This is her pattern.
They're really big.
Yes, I have all your pieces that you need to cut out, and she's just trying to lay it out.
Let's hope Winnie doesn't get a...
That's what I said. This is very delicate paper. It rips very easily, so it's recommended not to have chaotic cuts around.
But you can tape it back together if you need to.
You can, but it can alter your size. So, do you know how you're cutting it? Do you understand how?
I'm pretty sure I remember from when I helped you cut the Mary Alice ones.
Okay, so
We're
gonna go
the correct size.
Yes, so as you can see, there is multiple lines on here because those are all the different sizes that you'll be cutting. As you can see here.
And you have to cut out the notches.
Extra small, small, medium, extra large. So you would just cut cut around the size you need. So if she's cutting out an extra large, focus that. If she's cutting out an extra large, then she would cut along this outer line and follow that solid line. Usually there'll be like different types of lines, so it's easier to tell because sometimes they'll crisscross or get complicated. And these little notches, you don't have to cut out like right away as you're cutting, you can cut them out later. But those are to help line up your pattern pieces. So these little triangles you would like cut out and then cut it out on your fabric too. And all these little dots, they're stuff you would draw on. That's what we need to get. You need to get you a fabric pencil. Because those are, again, a place where you need to match fabric up. So, get cutting.
We'll come back when they're all cut out.
Further.
These are fabric scissors. Explain why you need fabric scissors and not actual scissors.
We did that in the other video.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure you pay attention to that then. That's very important.
Don't use them for tortillas.
Well, what's the difference between fabric scissors and nail scissors?
They are cut and sharpened differently. So fabric scissors, just like any other scissors, they are all cut or sharpened differently to cut different materials. So fabric scissors are sharpened differently than paper scissors, and differently than bolt cutters, and differently than yard cutters. all different types of scissors. Don't use them on tortillas, don't use them on cardboard, don't use them on paper. Just fabric and tracing paper is okay. Why are you
just getting it out of the way in case he jumps up?
Why didn't you? I thought you were gonna cut all of them out individually like that.
No, one at a time, one at a time.
Okay.
You can use normal scissors on these though if you want to.
Yeah, you can use normal paper scissors on these because it's just like tracing paper. So
lucky me, because I'm the biggest size, I literally just have to cut the outside.
Yeah.
You can help me cut.
With what scissors?
Scissors.
Alright, I guess I'm being put to work.
Yeah, otherwise we'll be here for like 3 hours when I...
Well then hurry up your cutting.
Look, because we have a second piece. It's not just this piece, it's this piece too.
Yeah, pay attention to what you need.
Yeah, isn't there some patterns that say if you only have A, you only need to cut this out, if you only have B?
Yeah, it'll say it on the pieces. So...
Damn it, it says it for this one. I don't even need to cut this one.
So...
I mean, feel free to cut them all out if you want though.
This is, so you can see where it'll say like letters, so you only need this for like A and B. You can cut them out if you want them to.
Just for storage wise.
Yeah, just pay attention. So did you
I'm
pick
cutting
up
A and B right now.
You don't need either of those.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't paying attention.
Because the different packages are typically for different things, so you probably don't need this one at all.
Do I not need that one at all?
Probably not if it's all A and B.
Throw that one out then. Woo! See?
Pay attention.
Pay attention.
A big thing about sewing is just paying attention to what you're doing.
Sometimes you forget because you just want to be like caught up in all of it, but like it's a lot more thinking than you think it is.
Wise words.
It takes a lot of brain power to do this.
Alright, so we'll get to cutting the correct pattern piece and then we'll be back.
So guys, we finished cutting them out. How many pieces do we have?
6.
Yeah, so we got this guy and we got these guys on the chair.
Yes.
And now...
So also, when you're cutting, make sure you look at what pieces it says you need so you're cutting the right ones. So like we're doing C and D, or we're doing C, so we only need to cut out the ones that say C. The rest we can ignore.
Yes. And keep for later.
So this is what they look like when they're cut out. Something else to pay attention to is where they're cut. So they'll need to be cut. So what is this? That's trash. Cut separately. So as you can see, and like compared to this, again, this will probably be easier to demonstrate once we pin them to fabric. Typically you pin them with the fabric folded. That way you pin two identical, or cut two identical ones, or one that's on the fold. So, for example, this one is cut to a fabric, and you would pin it kind of like where it demonstrates. So the fabric's folded, you cut it on top, and then I don't know if any of our pieces need to be cut on the fold.
Well, what we also have to do is we also have to tape some of them together.
Yes. So here's where we're gonna do some adapting. I need to think about how, because if we're doing interfacing, so we're gonna take those, interface. We'll figure that out when it comes to sewing.
Oh, you want to tell them what interfacing is?
So interfacing is something that goes in the middle of fabric. Usually, a lot of times you'll have an iron-on option. So it's basically, how do I explain it?
It makes it stiff.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit stiffer, gives it a little bit more structure and form, and it's kind of like an iron-on. You just iron on. It's like a kind of like a thin felt kind of feel.
We had to do it to Mary Alice's, Mary Lou's bonnet.
Well, we did it to the dress too. There was interfacing in the skirt. Yeah, just gives it some shape.
But that's like an after it's done.
No, you do that while you're sewing it, because you'd want it on the inside. So if we're doing a liner and the interfacing, I suggest what we should do is we should iron it to the inside one and then stitch the inside and the outside. So if there is any lines that show up because of like the different, because there's something extra there, it'll mainly show up more on the inside, not on the outside.
Alright guys, we're gonna start pinning this and we'll turn it back on so you can see the pinning.
So we're gonna lay out fabric.
Yay. Okay, you want to explain what we have decided?
So after a bit of measuring and like body adjusting, we decided instead of making them all one piece because the top and the bottom don't line up because the bottom needs to be gathered, to make it a little bit easier to combine them, what we're gonna do is we are going to extend this bit so the seam is a little bit further down, and then do the pattern like normal.
Yep, and we're doing that because the seam would be hidden by the belt.
So then what we can do is either we can leave this the same length and have it like 5 inches longer,
That's pretty long.
or we can trim it.
We'll need to trim it.
So we'll trim it. We'll do it from the bottom so the top matches up correctly. So we'll do this. This is the fabric.
When you say
So we'll need to extend it on both the front and the back. So this is what I'll just say this while we're here. So this is the cut to, I'll just do a sample. So let's unroll this like a little bit. So this right here is the folded bit, as you can see. When things say to cut along fold, what you'll need to do is you'll need to put that folded piece alongside it. So it will be pinned like this, and you do not cut this fold open. You would just cut along so it stays in the fold. That way, when you open it up, it unfolds and it's one big piece. So this is 1/2 a piece, whereas with this one, you would cut not along the fold. You would cut like, this is not how you would arrange them, but you would cut it in the middle so there's no folded edges, so when you open it up, it's 2 separate pieces. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to cut like on the one piece, you want to have it folded.
Yeah, unless you only need 1 piece of each, then it doesn't matter. You can either cut it while it's folded and have 2 pieces, but if you don't need an extra piece, you can just cut on.
We have also decided not to do interfacing because the neckline is close and I don't want that stiff.
I mean, it would only make it like, it wouldn't make it like stiff. It wouldn't strand.
No.
It would just have a little bit more like, so it wouldn't be quite as like, well, maybe let's demonstrate on the actual fabric. So where it's like, I mean, since it's gonna be double layered, are you gonna do a liner?
Yeah, if we do, it's with the same fabric.
Yeah, so the towel will be linered, so it's already not too flimsy. Basically, then if you just have 2 back to back, it's it's not as floppy.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a liner of the same one, basically.
So let's do, what did we say, 5 inches?
Yes, that's correct. So we're using the extra pieces that were cut off.
Yes.
And if we run out, we're just gonna use computer paper because it's not like we're really altering that much, we're just extending the size.
We'll do, measure on this. So let's do like a dotted line. So we'll have 5 inches there.
Sure, this is riveting for you guys. We'll check back in when this is done.
There's nothing. We're attaching it.
There's nothing special about what's going on right now. She did it.
Right, it's all done. So we added on this little extra square to make it a little bit. We made it 5 inches longer. I also matched up where this notch was, since we would need that as a reference point later for when we're connecting the pieces. So I just traced down and added a new one over here, and hopefully it matches up all right. So the next thing we got to do is we got to do the same exact thing to this piece. So we'd make again another 5 inches down and then match any notches. This one didn't get cut, but that's okay because that's not good. Anyway. So yeah, so then so this is how much we added on. So then for these bigger pieces, this is what we'll take off. But since we need to connect the top and the bottom, sometimes they taper off. What we'll do to make sure everything stays together is that we will take it off the bottom, which we'll do later.
Yes.
All right, you want to try making the one for this one?
Do we even have enough of the paper?
And like you said, if we don't, we can use computer paper. Chop this off. You can tape a bunch of pieces together. Don't get real crafty with it.
Oh, fun. Oh, fun.
All right, what you up to?
I'm cutting. You want to show them how the pinning looks?
It looks like it's pinned to the fabric.
I don't know. They look probably not know.
So as you can see, we're along the center fold. Ow, I just gave myself a burn. And now she's cutting out along the pattern very, very slowly.
Well, is there a fast way?
Yeah, by doing it faster. You're too careful.
Well, still, there's still like these awful little digits for cutting with the scissors.
Digits?
Yeah, like this.
I don't know what I'm looking at. Cut smoother.
Okay, because that's easy to do.
Better at cutting. It's because do bigger snips. Stop doing such tiny ones. That's how you get all the little grooves. Bigger ones make it more even. Yeah, see, it's all pinned, and then we just follow it, cut it out.
Look how bad that is.
Alright guys, look at her handiwork.
Bad.
I can't even see it beyond the pattern.
Yeah, this.
Look how uneven.
Yeah, if you're so good, let's see it.
It'll be better once, I mean, it's okay if it's a little rough around the edges because they're going to be in the seam allowance anyways, so they won't show. Just don't make them like super wide, like all over the place. She's snipping her scissors at me. She's threatening me.
Yeah, I'm threatening your life.
In the past few minutes, we have pinned that. We've spilled water all over the place. From the iron. You entrusted the iron in my hands. But, so now we're cutting. We're gonna cut them all out. Our this isn't quite wide enough for our long pieces, so we're cutting out the pieces that we can for now. We're gonna cut these out, cut the other part of the shirt out, and then we're gonna lay our fabric out the other way to make it wide enough for the skirty part things.
The stuff that we have to slit everywhere.
Yeah. Alright, all of our stuff is cut and pressed. So now...
Yeah, don't forget to iron it, guys.
Yes. So now we are cutting it, or not, we're not cutting it, we're pinning it to sew it. So we have a front piece to the back piece, and now she is pinning it.
Is my pinning okay?
Where she's gonna go. Yes. So, something to know when you guys are sewing is that you want the pins to be perpendicular to the needle on the sewing machine. So since it'll be going this way across to make a seam, you'll want them this way. Let me show you why. So as you can see, so when the pin is like this, the sewing needle can move over it easily when it's going down. If you have it pinned in the fabric like this and you go in, it's going to run right over it and it's going to hit it and it's going to jam. Sometimes, even if they are like this, sometimes the needle just hits right and it can hurt. Sometimes if the needle bends, it can also break your needle. If the pin bends, it can jam it, so you'll want to be careful not to have too many pins so it's not running the risk of jamming it. And again, make sure it's like this so it doesn't break it or jam it. So you want the pins to be like this so they can go right under.
Also, you want to make
like
sure
this.
you pin the right side to the right side, so then when you sew it and you can fold it out, it's correct.
You were not in focus for that.
That's okay.
Yeah, so right side to wrong side. Basically the right side is the outer piece that you'll be wearing outside on your body that will be seen by the world. The wrong side is the piece with any markings, like this one. It's very hard to see, but that's a little pencil dot, which will be used later to help match up the fabric. You do not need to do there.
I'm doing there for safety so it stays.
You don't need to do that. You just need to pin where you're going to be sewing.
This is going to keep it.
She's paranoid. But yeah, and so when you're sewing, like she was saying, you'll want right side to right side so the wrong sides are outside. So when you have the pin right here, when you flip it open, that edge will be on the inside.
So this is the first step.
First step. Woohoo. Do you remember your seam allowance?
5/8.
5/8. That's what the I was gonna say the recipe.
That's what the recipe
That's
calls
what the recipe
for.
calls for.
Where's the on button?
On the side. This is the question she asks all. Where's the on button? After you, how many times have you used this so far?
Just that tutorial, you know.
You should still know the power button. So something somebody wanted to know was how we operate the machine with the foot pedal. So the foot pedal goes down here on the ground. You probably can't see it because it's really dark.
Use
there it
some
is.
scrap.
Move this leg. Keep moving it. Turn your body. Now just turn yourself around. So that's the foot pedal. Is it backwards? You have it backwards. So, so yeah, so you have that on the ground and you press it to make the machine go.
It also controls your speed.
Yes. Like we said, the harder you press, the faster it goes.
There's so much at stake here.
So I'll try to show her pressing the pedal and working the machine. It's also very blown out at the top. Your foot is also floating. Heel's not on the ground. I think you're driving. Just kidding, I don't think that's a prerequisite. I think mine floats too. Basically, just use what's comfortable for you.
I'm short, okay? And a back stitch, right?
Mm-hmm. Do your back stitches. Did you do one at the start?
No.
Do one at the start too.
I thought you said not to.
I corrected myself. I meant to correct myself. So do it at the start. Just don't keep going back and forth. So do one at the start too when you first start, so you get that end, and then when you finish it too.
Well, it's too late. I'll do a back stitch though.
So yeah. So. Ta-da! Hope that
See
foot
what it
pedal.
looks like. Ta-da! It's a little crooked. Can you see it?
Ta-da!
As a sewer, what do you think it went for?
You keep moving it out of focus.
Sorry.
I think seems fine. Seems fine.
Okay.
Just keep it even. Follow that seam allowance. Follow the reference point.
Might go be okay because I didn't do a back stitch on the front to start.
I mean, I think you're gonna stitch over it again anyways.
Okay, sounds good.
Because when you add in the liner and then when you do the armhole stitching.
Alright, so I'm gonna take these pins out. Can I have my other soldier? Do you have my other soldier?
I do have it. I'm wearing it.
I need that.
Alright, we'll come back when that one's all done.
Yeah, you don't need to see it again.
Alright guys, we are wrapping up for today. We did a bit more work, so we started doing some stitching. I don't remember, where did we leave off? But we pinned the back, the front pieces to the back pieces, and then connected the liner to that, and now she's finishing up that. So,
I'm double stitching.
she's going back over and doing some double stitching.
Where are my two strings?
How do you think it's going?
It's going okay. We would have had more done if the machine didn't kept unraveling up here and getting caught. And yeah, fun stuff.
So yeah, so we're just doing some more work on the top. I think we're about like maybe 60% done.
You think
with the top part?
Oh, with the top part.
Not fully. I think
I was like, you think we're 60%?
fully we're probably like 35% done.
That's not bad.
No, making a lot more progress more quickly than our At Dead of Night videos.
I gotta say though, like, it's the cutting and the pinning that takes all the time. Because once you threw, the machine takes like 30 seconds. That isn't good. It's raining. Boring.
Alright, want to present your piece to the class?
It's stuck.
Turn the thing!
Turn what?
The dial that you used to raise the needle.
Turn it what, up? Okay. That's why Ashley's here. She's here to supervise.
Even though when I do supervise, she never listens to anything I say.
I will present you. Just let me put...
Present to the class.
Put the needle in there. You want me to turn it?
I mean, you don't need to because you still have to do the other stuff before.
Fine, I can turn it.
Demonstrate. It'll help for you to learn what you're doing. See what you did?
No. Where's my neck hole?
Well, it'll be like a vest, so.
Oh, that's right.
That is your neck.
You're correct. I was like, wait a second.
There's no head hole!
No head neck hole.
So the bottoms will eventually get stitched together, and you see those little holes there? Those are for the sleeves, so it'll all get stitched together and it'll look cleaner. Right now it just kind of looks like an elephant curtain.
This is where my body goes. You're here. No. Right here? I don't know.
She confused herself.
Yeah, I did.
Anyways, would you like to wrap up with some final thoughts?
Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, share.
Not on sewing?
No. This is what it's like inside out. It doesn't look anything like it's supposed to.
Those look like sleeves, but those are the front panels.
Yeah. See, you like my new medieval shirt?
Yeah, you should make you one.
No.
Pulling it off. Next up, we'll make her a medieval outfit.
Oh yeah, what's the next step?
Next up, so after this, for the shirt specifically.
Yeah, for this one.
So she'll stitch the front panels together, or she'll get the sides by the arms for the front panels, where she will get the armholes. It's hard to explain, guys. I'm not good at explaining it. And then after that, we do something that I'm still trying to figure out. And then we'll attach the bottoms.
We did have to like press 5/8, but I wrecked that already, so I'll probably have to do it again. Good stuff.
Alright, goodbye. Alright, back to cutting. And cut. Like that pun?
Sure.
Alright, now we're cutting.